Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Baba Girivardhari Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jai Radha Kunja Bihari, Radha Kunja Bihari, Radhe. Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jaya Baladev, Mai Subhadra. Jaya Srinataji, Jaya Balagopal, Jaya Srinataji, Jaya Giri Govardhan. Jaya Gaurani Jai, Jaya Gaurani Jai, Jaya Gaurani Jai, Jaya Gaurani Jai. Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Jaya Om Vishnupada Bhagavanam Siddhivadikacharya Stodra Satyashish Maharaj's Divine Grace, founder of Iskana Bhai Charanaravenda Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Grantaraj Shrimadbhagavatam Ki Jai, their most merciful Lordship Shishwara Kunja Bihari Ki Jai, Shri Jagannath Shri Baladev Mai Subhadra Ki Jai, Shri Nataji Shri Balagopal Ki Shri Martai Ki Jai Go Prema. All glories to the assembly.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to the assembly.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to the assembly.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to the Lord Spirit of Shri Guru, Shri Gohuram. Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tojayamudiraye Nasta Praishu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhagavati Naishtaki. Reading from Shrimadbhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 5, Text 37, is it today? Text 37. If I don't remember, remind me about the statement Krishna makes, I am the taste of water. Because I want to talk about that one. But just remind me, in case I forget. Om Namo Bhagavate Tubhyam. Om Namo Bhagavate Tubhyam. Vasudevaya Dhimahi. Vasudevaya Dhimahi. Pradumya Nirudhaya. Pradumnaya Nirudhaya. Nama Sankarshanaya Cha. Nama Sankarshanaya Cha. Om Namo Bhagavate Tubhyam. Om Namo Bhagavate Tubhyam. Om Namo Bhagavate Tubhyam. Vasudevaya Dhimahi. Vasudevaya Dhimahi. Vasudevaya Dhimahi. Pradumyan Nirudhaya. Pradumnaya Nirudhaya. Pradumnaya Nirudhaya. Namah Sankarsanaya Cha. Namah Sankarsanaya Cha. Namah Sankarsanaya Cha. Om Namo Bhagavate Tubhyam.
Vasudevaya Dhimahi.
Vasudevaya Dhimahi. Pradumnaya Nirudhaya. Namah Sankarsanaya Cha.
Om Namo Bhagavate Tubhyam.
Om Namo Bhagavate Tubhyam.
Vasudevaya Dhimahi.
Vasudevaya Dhimahi.
Pradumnaya
Pradumnaya
Nirudhaya.
Nirudhaya.
Namah Sankarshanaya Cha.
Namah Sankarsanaya Cha. Om Namo Om. The sign of chanting the transcendental glory of the Lord.
The sign of chanting the transcendental glory of the Lord.
And I just saw the other day that we actually have that. You know, this looks like a 3, the number 3, and that's the Om, right? That is up there in the ironworks of the railing to the you know where that upstairs goes up there? That form of Om is up there. I just saw that the other day.
First time you got it?
First time I saw that.
Wow.
Only been here 40 years, but it could be done.
Okay.
Obeisances unto the Lord.
Offering obeisances.
offering, oh wait a minute, sorry, Namah, offering obeisances unto the Lord. Bhagavate, unto the personality of Godhead. Tubhyam, unto you. Vasudevaya, unto the Lord, the Son of Vasudeva. Dhimahi, let us chant. Pradumnaya, Anirudhaya, and Shankarshanaya, all plenary expansions of Vasudeva. Namah, respectful obeisances. Cha, and Om Namo Bhagavate Tubhyam Vasudevaya Dhimahi Pradumnaya Nirudhaya Namah Shankarshanaya Cha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace of Acharnanavinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Let us all chant the glories of Vasudeva, along with his plenary expansions, Pradumna, Aniruddha, and Shankarshan. Please repeat. Let us chant. Let us all chant. Sorry, that's my mistake. Let us all chant.
Let us all chant
the glories of Vasudeva, along with his plenary expansions, Pradumna, Aniruddha, and Shankarshan. Let us all chant the glories of Vasudeva, along with his plenary expansions, Pradumna, Aniruddha, and Shankarshan. Purport by His Divine Grace of Acharnanavinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. According to Pancharatra, Narayana is the primeval cause of all expansions of Godhead. These are Vasudeva, Shankarshan, Pradumna, and Aniruddha. Vasudeva and Shankarshan are on the middle, left, and right. Pradumna is on the right of Shankarshan, and Aniruddha is on the left of Vasudeva, and thus the four deities are situated. They are known as the four aides-de-camp of Lord Sri Krishna. This is a Vedic hymn or mantra beginning with Omkar, Pranav, and thus the mantra is established by the transcendental chanting process, namely Om Namo Dhimahi, etc. The purport is that any transaction, either in the field of fruitive work or in empiric philosophy, which is not ultimately aimed at transcendental realization of the Supreme Lord, is considered to be useless. Naradji has therefore explained the nature of unalloyed devotional service by his personal experience in the development of intimacy between the Lord and the living entity by a gradual process of progressive devotional activities. Such a progressive march of transcendental devotion for the Lord culminates in the attainment of loving service of the Lord, which is called prema, in different transcendental variegatedness, called rasas, tastes. Here you come with taste, Krishna. Such devotional service is also executed in mixed forms, namely mixed with fruitive work or empiric philosophical speculations. Now the question which was raised by the great rishis, headed by Chanakya Rishi, regarding the confidential part of Sukta's achievement through the spiritual master is explained herein by the chanting of this hymn, consisting of 33 letters, and the mantra addressed to the four deities, or the Lord with his plenary expansions. The central figure is Lord Sri Krishna, because the plenary portions are his aides de camp. The most confidential part of the instructions is that one should always chant and remember the glories of the Lord Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, along with his different plenary portions, expanded as Vasudev, Shankarshan, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. These expansions are the original deities for all other truths, namely either Vishnu Tattva or Shakti Tattvas. Om Jnana Timarandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshusum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. The Pancharatric being referred to here in the first paragraph is that writing of Narad Muni. The Narada Pancharatric was, when I first learned to do deity service, it was required reading. And there was a copy of it kept in the Vajari room, always to refer to it because when you're doing deity service, sometimes the question comes up, do I do this? You go to refer to the Pancharatric. Because Narad Muni is so given and he's so qualified because we know he has access to the spiritual world. He comes in and out when he wants. Goes to see Krishna when he wants. Goes into his palaces. Has been into every single one of Krishna's palaces. And see, that's in this particular planet that he's doing that, and this universe. I'm not sure if Narad Muni is restricted even to this universe. Because if you can go to the spiritual world from here, you have access to every other universe. So he's just a very special Narad Muni. He's my hero, actually. But we're talking about taste, see, and here it's peculiar again. One of Krishna's little nudges, that this realization came to me about taste, and then here is the explanation about taste, because each of these names as well is referring to a relationship that the devotees are having with Krishna at the time, which creates in the spiritual world, in that place of our psyche that we are using for taste now as a means of trying to satisfy some lusting desire we have to be fulfilled, that experience there is relationship. Jai Shri Shrimadbhagavatam, Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladev, Jai Subhadra, Jai Shri Gauranga. See, this gives real meaning to the statement, man does not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God. So every word that proceeds out of the devotee, naming a different incarnation of God, is by that naming immediately invoking relationship. And thereby, again, in that place we are putting taste for food is relationship with Krishna. And that's the real taste that the soul will continue its eternal rasa with. Now this aspect of I am the taste of water, which Krishna makes the statement of, If you didn't read Shrimadbhagavatam, and the point I want to make about this is how valuable it is to have as a background in your mind when you're reading all these other Vedic scriptures, it gives you a more broad perspective of what Krishna calls the confidential knowledge. And so this taste of water, without reading Bhagavatam, one would think, he's neutral. He's kind of revealing the fact that he's neutral in all things, which is true. Krishna's like that. Isn't the taste of water kind of a neutral taste, right? But then, when you come up to find out how taste in the human body came to be formed, you find out that it wasn't available until water entered into the material universe. So water, not only necessarily being a neutral taste in and of itself, but it is the cause for there to be taste in anything else. So in effect, he's saying this is taste itself. So he is the foundation of taste itself. And this is referring as well to this relationship. Relationship with Krishna is a taste for the soul to have its substance. We increase, just like we increase the body's substance by eating food, right? The soul is increased by relationship with Krishna. And the soul, see, once we go through this life and then we start putting all of our trust in Krishna for everything, we come to find out all along, he's always been that we've been longing for. And he's always been there willing to give himself to us. And that's why all these scriptures are written, to reveal to us what bliss we can be experiencing through that relationship with him, which is eternal. I prayed to Krishna after I learned that my friends, I got an opportunity to visit my friend yesterday. And I prayed to Krishna, please let me keep from reminding him of the fact that he lost his wife, right? I spent 2 hours. He didn't get one word in edgewise. See, we are supposed to give association to others. And I've had so many realizations since I saw him last time. It's only been 6 months or so that we talked. But I couldn't stop talking, And he's absorbing it. And I saw in him a happiness now, which I was expecting for him to be really distraught, kind of still feeling that he had lost, the majority of the purpose of his life, which is what Bhagavatam is explaining, 5th Canto I'm reading, is what most men go through if they lose their wives at the end of their journey, which is why sannyas is advised that by choice. I'm getting the realization now. This act of sannyas is a means for the soul to peacefully leave with his wife in her mind a positive reflection of their relationship with each other, and the fact that he has chosen now to leave. Because when we leave these bodies, our aim is to go with Krishna. If we take sannyas, our aim is to do what Krishna wants us to do. That's the same thing. Same thing. In effect, sannyas is described as dying. We die to the physical desires of the senses of the body. Therefore, given the designation of Swami, one who is able to control the urges of the tongue, belly, and genitals. And so then one becomes qualified to take disciples throughout the world, all from this taste that we're getting from serving Krishna. It's all this taste. And see, in the spiritual world, what we're seeing here being but a reflection. Right now, my tongue is quite dry, so I'm going to have a greater appreciation when I do decide to drink for the water. Fasting does the same thing, but it allows the body to take that which it is normally taking and use it more effectively, more efficiently. Your digestive juices, the stronger they get, the more efficient they can use that food that you will give to it. Of course, you're putting yourself at a place of need. But see, it's true with life as well. You can see with Lord Chaitanya and his relationship with the devotees there, you're saying, why do you have 3 days of food stored up? We keep 7 days of food stored up, But see, in Krishna's mind, everything is always there at all times. When you're God, there's nothing that's not available. Did I mess that up? I messed the camera up. So, this is what Krishna consciousness means. He wants to give us his own mind. Because he's sharing this body with us. And so if he sees us existing in a state of turmoil or distress, it causes him suffering. He doesn't want us to suffer. There's all the guidance to keep us from going to places that cause suffering. All these scriptures given to us so that we will go to a better place after this life. But what to speak? Not a better place. The divine, the supreme, the dwelling of dwellings, above and beyond every imagination possible in this physical realm that we're in. That's what Krishna is offering to us, his very intimate, most dwelling, removed from every influence of failure, every influence from sinful activity, every influence of doubt, worry, distress, disease, no anxiety, even just within the realms of Vaikuntha. But Krishna is calling us farther than that. He wants us to go to Krishna Loka, Gokuladam. They're in the most intimate places. So, this only comes by, see, this perspective of relationship, which is what becomes so important to the devotee, and more so as time progresses. Because the more faith you start putting in Krishna for everything, the more that dependency creates relationship. Then it gets in a constant discussion. What questions you have that pop into your mind, that is you. The questions that are unanswered is you, right? It's not Krishna. But when answers come, that's Krishna. Where are the answers going to come from? Of course, see, the soul also is made of answers too. Because being made of the substance that truth is, the answers are there. So combined together with relationship with Krishna is also relationship and understanding and knowledge of the self, the soul that we are. It's not like you can separate them. Just like you can't separate the soul and Krishna. Can't separate relationship and the name of Krishna. Yeah. And that's what this taste we will get will ultimately bring us to the complete eternalness of. We're being called to the highest state of consciousness that souls can attain to with Krishna, the Supreme Person himself. He wants us to experience the pleasure of having full knowledge of that relationship, the knowledge as well that can bring deliverance, healing, everything people are longing for in the material world, because everything we will find in reading of these sacred literatures that have completely to do with the spiritual realm will satisfy within us the desires we have that we still feel are lacking to be satisfied in the material realm. Once one learns, I encourage sometimes, only because these experiences are based on documented true experiences. These episodes of One Step Beyond, and because they're only 20 minutes long, the ones, well, I haven't seen a one in there that doesn't confirm some aspect of our philosophy. And these are all what would be considered out of the norm, paranormal, they call it, incidents. But this one incident took place. It opens up, it's called The Explorer. If you want to watch it today, it'll take you 20 minutes, like reading a chapter out of Bhagavatam or one of our transcendental literatures. Why I call it Veda. If it's truth, it's Veda. We take Veda even from muddy places. You can take gold from mud, it's still gold, right? So Veda and truth is of the same nature. Now, it opens up with this guy knocking on the door, and this very distinguished gentleman answers the door, and he's a famous writer, author. And the man who is knocking on his door, he greets him very favorably, recognizing, the wondrous books he's written and everything, but comes to thank him because he knows his son as the one who saved him when he was in the desert. And so, he not knowing that his son had been there, he requests to know more about the story. And as he relates the story, he comes to realize the time he's talking about was a time that his own son was in the hospital, on a hospital bed in a coma. Krishna. And see, what's happening when we sleep? We are using the mind energy. We're not using it. It's not under our control, right? For the most part, although it can be done, and there are ways to be able to do it, they call it lucid dreaming, to know, there's ways to know that you're sleeping. But for the most part, we don't. And when we enter into that state of sleep, we are giving the mind the ability to use the senses that it has the ability to give us the experience of light. The eyes gives us the experience of light with, right? And the mind has the ability to reflect experiences we have previously had. Srila Prabhupada says, you see gold and you see a mountain. Then in a dream you see a mountain of gold. But that doesn't mean there are not mountains of gold. And here is the thing. There's a lake at the bottom of this universe. The causal ocean on which Krishna is lying is a causal ocean of milk. Surrounding that causal ocean of milk is a dweep, an island, right? I believe it's Shweta Dweep. Surrounding that is an ocean of mango juice. And see, each of these oceans, just like the coverings of the universe, they're thicker, and they create islands that are like big donuts around the interior center that Krishna is lying on Sheshanag. And so, when the mind in Gayatri takes us to that place while we are awake, when you're chanting Gayatri, it's a dream state on purpose. You use the mind now to conceive the sun and the person seated on the sun. But before you get there, you are realizing the layers of planetary systems that there are before you get to the sun. Om Bhurva Swata. So these three layers then are envisioned by the mind's ability to conceive. And in that experience that the soul is having with that person who is ruling the sun, is relationship. And so relationship is what is being developed in all of our activities with Krishna, through not only him, but included with the relationship with Krishna, because it's paraphernalia, and all of these expansions of Krishna's energy, Vasudeva, Aniruddha, Shankarshan, Aniruddha, are also with Krishna, contained. So when we're offering to Krishna anything, we're engaging 33 million demigods, already included in the relationship with Krishna. These are his friends. So once you become a friend with Krishna, see how many friends you have. See, and all of them in control of all the elements in the world. Now, all of those elements are working for you, because you're working for the same purpose they're working for. So the wind, the rain, tornadoes, all these things, they are your friends. We are their friends. We're working for the cause of the one who brought them into existence as well. See the sweetness that in everything we come to see relationship with Krishna. This is how the gopis go out into the forest, and this is how everything reminds them of Krishna. They see the color of a peacock's feather, reminds them of Krishna's body. They see the freedom of the animals, everything reminds them of Krishna. And it's all relationship. And it's all relationship that increases, just like Shrimati Radharani and Krishna's relationship as they peer into each other's eyes. Their love for each other increases. The same way a devotee's love. Once the devotee is brought to that stage of being able to experience the pleasure of the position God himself is giving us in making us servants of him. The term servant in our society is looked at as the low place. What does Christ say to his followers? The meek. Who are the meek? Are they the most exalted, looking to be glorified and looking to be thought of as fame? Somebody, the meek, the lowly. Think of yourself lower than the straw in the street. How much lower can you get? That's what the devotee considers himself. Because the more we know, the more we realize how little we've known before, how lacking we have been in knowledge. But how much more there is to know then, too. And as this knowledge increases in us, it gives us the ability to expand our ability to contain more knowledge. It's like a child. He can hold the keys when he's 3 years old, but he's got to learn. Got to read out of the book first. Got to learn what stop and go means. Got to learn everything: how to sit, how to drive, and how to turn, how to stop. So similarly with spiritual consciousness, Krishna gives us the knowledge of everything there is about totality of life, the inside, outside, upside, downside of everything. And that's what he knows. And that's what he wants to give us the ability to see as well, as what the meaning of Krishna consciousness. Krishna in us, the Bible says, the hope of glory. Is God in us, manifesting what we are as souls. But see, if we take that to the extent, this is what Narad Muni actually is revealing. He's manifesting an eternal body. He's been here since the beginning. He came here by choice. Brahma came here by choice. They come because of their love to do what Krishna wants them to do, to fulfill the purpose of bringing all these that have chosen to come by coming here with the desire to satisfy themselves, to please ourselves. We come to try and enjoy Krishna's energy rather than to please Krishna. So we're here, but now we can turn it from being the most calamitous as it could be to the most fortunate as it is. I love that term, as it is. You know, when you come to realize the meaning of it and how significantly advantageous it is for us to know that it's really as it is, because there are so few followers on quote-unquote paths that don't really have it as it is, even though they believe they have it as it is. They will say the Bible, the Word of God, right? The Bible says, if we were to write love of God, the whole earth couldn't contain the books. So then how can the followers of Christianity think that the Bible is the only book God has ever inspired? And when you press them on it, they will admit that yes, actually it's inspired by God, written by human beings, but inspired by God. But see, when you know the connection between Beta Vyas, who is similarly, as this is explaining expansions of Krishna's own energy for particular purposes. Sheshanag on the bottom of the universe is performing the function of being a couch for Krishna. But he's also Krishna's brother simultaneously in another place where they're having relationship, manifesting simultaneously. So simultaneously, this episode I was talking about of the explorer who was in this coma on the hospital bed, his mind had enabled him to manifest a subtle body in a gross form in this desert to save these people by the desire he must have had. You don't get the ability to save people without the desire to do that, right? You don't get the ability to perform functions in this world without first having desire. And the desire can be the cause of our problems or the cause of our realization of just what this movement is offering us, the greatest facility the human form can be used for. And Krishna, by the sweetness, just imagine if God was such that we had no ability to use our free will, then we could never know what love is, isn't it? Just imagine if you were forced and without realizing it. Most souls are forced. They're doing what they're doing by force of the modes of material energy, forcing the senses of their physical body like whips, forcing their minds to tell the soul what it wants. The body is telling the soul what it demands, isn't it? This is a state of the human being in most cases, unless we're free to exercise our human will. But my argument is that most people are not free to do that, even though they think they are. This is really a big illusion we're under in this world, thinking we're making all these choices based on our own free will, which from one perspective it is, but from another perspective, what tools we're using to decide what we quote-unquote want to do, if it's all based on experience these senses are having with the material energy, which they are limited to, then the freedom of the soul is not really being expressed by the demand of the senses, controlling the mind, who is in effect then demanding the soul to do what it wants. The mind. That's what the meaning of speculation is. Using the mind to draw conclusions for justifications of activities that are not in line with what is perfection. What will be leading us to the perfection is following Krishna's guidance. So the ability, that's what we're looking for in Krishna consciousness, to follow these instructions that Krishna gives us. Like you're saying, I want to find 2 hours to be able to chant. I want to find the ability to offer and only eat those things that are offered to Krishna. And as we pursue with that desire, we can know, I'm giving class so that we can know that all these pursuits are not any longer the drivings of the senses of our body. This pursuit to try and want to satisfy Krishna, when we go to the store then, the fruit we pick out, we don't pick for ourselves. Now, what is Krishna like? Krishna likes mangoes. Okay, I'll buy a mango for Krishna. And Krishna accepts so many varieties, and every one of them he has given Brahma to put into their forms. And Brahma gets benefit when we choose any form. So we have, by exercising this true freedom of using it in a way that creates an experience for Krishna to see us offering him uniquely that nobody else is going to offer today what you offer to Krishna. Not exactly. So that taste that you're having with Krishna, created by your will and desire to offer something to Krishna, is going to be an experience of taste that Krishna is getting from you that he will get from nobody else. Because you're unique to Krishna. You're Krishna's one and only. Every one of us is. That's what Krishna consciousness means. Knowing how dear God thinks of us to himself. How dear we are to him. So that's what knowing love is. And the purest form of love is coming from the very innermost feelings of God himself. Krishna. Any comments? Any questions? Any realizations that might have been instilled in the class?
Like we souls have unique identity, unique
Yes.
relationship with Krishna.
Yeah. And unique taste thereby with Krishna. He's having himself a unique experience with every one of us. Yeah.
I love the fact that he gives us all the different ways to worship him. The different, brother, friend, parent,
Exactly.
lover. It's just so sweet.
Yeah.
Realize Sakya.
So much mercy. Yeah. And these are just like little things.
But they mean so much.
They pile up, and they mean a lot. It's just like these little activities. We don't think as much through our day. But as they pile up, Krishna will count them towards your devotional activities in years. So these moments through our day, as they add up after 10 years, 15, 20, these moments have added up as years that we have spent. So 2 hours every day at the end of a year, multiply 2 times 365, you get how many hours? So you're going to have more than a month, an entire month. You spent, what is it? 60 days. 60 days of solid chanting is 2 months. So if you, and that was solid chanting. Think about that. Combined into one place. And see, that's how happiness starts happening. And eventually that happiness starts snowballing. See, we're talking now with each other, there's 3 or 4 of us, right? And we're sharing an experience that's quite satisfying. For me, I'm getting a tremendous amount of satisfaction from sharing with y'all, right? There's 3 of us, 4 of us. But see, imagine by 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, and the effects are multiplied that many more times by as many people as we can give this truth to. And so that experience we will have with Krishna, and you just have to know naturally, just by natural process, Krishna is going to take that much more love towards us because of that effort we're making towards him. Just the natural way. You do something for me and I'm going to feel indebted to you that much more, right? That's just natural. So that's how Krishna feels towards us too. The more we do, the better he feels about it. Any other realizations, Captain? Shrimadbhagavatam, ki jai. Srila Prabhupada, ki jai. Oh, sorry, I keep hitting something. That's why.